Hey guys, Jesse here from Big Grizzly Gaming. We're July 27th. We're in Bucky's final days before the errata takes place on the 9th of August. So this is one of the final games I'll be playing. I get to play the deck for about another week, and that's it. So I revamped from some of the other games that you see me play. We added some Prince Johns in here. We cut the Tinkerbells. We went a lot more low to the ground. We put in Donald instead of Jafar. Um, Added sudden chills as well for the double singing on Ursula, and we're trying to turbo out that discard just a little bit quicker. So this opponent I found on the Real Play Network, which is actually going away. We have a new Discord that we're going to be finding games on, and there's a lot of people already in there doing webcam games. So it's a really good place to test out decks, especially before going to your locals or even it's very proxy friendly. There's people in there with printing off proxies, trying out different decks before they buy the cards, and all that's welcome. So here I am looking at my card, trying to figure out what to keep. We see we got a couple Buckies and a Diablo, baby Diablo. I don't know what I'm going up against. Like, I'm guessing Ruby Amethyst. I've been seeing it a lot lately, right? It's a pretty pretty cheap deck to build in the meta. So we've got Ursula, we've got the other Ursula there, the 2-drop Ursula. So I think I just end up keeping probably the Bucks and the Diablo, and then just trying to get that shift Diablo out. It's very greedy to try the double Bucky. If you can get away with it, if you can try and lure your opponent off. So we do end up doing that. We keep the Buckies. We keep the Diablo there. This opponent, his name was Sandwich in the Discord. He was a really fun opponent to play with. And we did a best of 3 here. We had talked about it. I think going forward, we're going to start doing best of 2 just to get ready for set championships, since that is the format that they're going to. So that's what most of you guys will be used to seeing if you go to set champs, is probably best of 2 into your the final cut, right? Cut for top 8 or top 4, whatever it is. That's usually best of 3. And that does change really how aggressive you have to play, because you want that 2-0, right? Like in best of 3 with Bucky, like if I'm on the play to start with, I probably win that match, right? Because we just had somebody pop in channel here. You have to adjust the cameras. So opponent inked a Tamatoa and played the Popsicle. So now we know what we're up against. You see, we draw that big Diablo, which is real nice. So we're gonna ink an Ursula, play the Diablo, look at what the opponent's playing. He was on the play here first. He has 2 1-jump aheads too, because immediately I saw the 1 and I thought, oh, I shouldn't ink that Ursula, but he has 2 anyway. They are uninkable, so that's when I'm looking at decks like this. When I'm playing, I'm looking at what they're playing, and I'm trying really hard to remember and count their uninkable counts. Because if I can get them to use their inkable cards, if it's like brawls or removals or anything like that, and force them to discard the rest, like you can really catch them with just nothing to ink. We ink a beast. We play the Bucky, and then I just quest with the Diablo, mate. And I remember him talking here too. He was like, "Oh, you don't have it, right?" I did, but I have another Bucky in hand. So I was kind of thinking of doing something just real crazy by waiting a turn or two, slamming like Bucky, Ursula, and then waiting till I had a discard an action so that I could throw out the Diablo 2 and just do a triple discard in one turn. The opponent plays a Gramatalia. Looks at 2. Great card, right? Replaces itself. Because you're always going net. You're always losing a card net 1, right? Because you're drawing 1 card, you're inking, and then you're playing a card. So it's important for, I think, if you're going up against a Bucky deck, that you only play cards that are going to replace themselves. So we have an Ursula. Play that. Pull that other one jump ahead out of the hand. We see he's got Sisu, Brawl, Fishhook, Medusa, right? So 2 inkables, 2 uninkables. Still no action to discard for that Diablo, which is why we opted to play the Ursula. I knew he still had the one song in hand. We're slow playing a little bit, so now the Fishhook comes out. So now we're worried, right? Do we shift that Diablo? Because we're gonna make him discard 1 card, and we're gonna get to draw a card off of it. That's not really a good trade. Like, if you have nothing else to do, maybe you do that, but it's not a great trade. So he's given his, he was doing this during the game, and I'm not really sure why. He was using the Fishhook after he quested to give his character evasive. Not that I play Rush. We top deck an Aladdin, though. So now instead of inking and playing like the Bucky, the other Ursula to rip a song, if he had one, and then trying to shift the Diablo if we had pulled an action card. Now I don't want to do that. So now I want to go 3. We want to play the Aladdin out so that we can get rid of that Fishhook next turn. Because that's going to be a problem for our Diablo, right? Obviously, we know he has the Brawl in hand. You'd seen that. He discards the Sisu. Great. Great to see that go, because that card just destroys this deck, right? That would wipe my whole board here except the Aladdin. We're going to ink the Ursula Deceiver of All. And we're doing that just because, you know, we haven't pulled any action cards already. So we're going to quest for 1 with the Ursula. Let me know what you guys think, too, by just putting the lore tracker just on my phone there, instead of updating it and having a big, thick, clunky thing on the side of the screen. Just wanted to simplify these recordings a little bit. That lore 1 that the opponent has up there, that was just part of his overlay. So opponent plays a Maui. Immediately, we know the Ursula's gone there. That thing is scary too, because he's got the Fishhook. He can take out evasives. It's a big problem. And he can activate it for free now too, which he targets the Gramatalia. So that is really cool if that works like that. Where you, just because you have the Maui out, you can activate that. Alright, so we end up drawing here. I think that's a Cove that we drew. So still no action card, which is so surprising. We play so many in this deck. So we're going to ink. We're at 5 ink now. So now we're just going to play the Bucky. And we're going to hard cast the Diablo for double discard. So those last 2 cards, that Brawl and that Medusa, thems are gone. We're going to quest with the Aladdin. We're going to take out that Fishhook. So there's 1. So opponent's hand is empty on 5 ink, and we've gotten rid of that evasive threat there. At least for now, right? 1 card in hand. We didn't shift. Weren't able to shift that Diablo, but he plays another Maui immediately. Uses that one to go after the Aladdin, right? That's fine. That Aladdin served its purpose. You got to discard off of it, and so then we're gonna play out a Beast. Double discard. There's no cards in our opponent's hand. We'll go ahead and quest with Diablo so we can start drawing off this thing. Keeping the Cove still in hand. There's no real reason to ink it. Nothing in our deck costs more than 5. Opponent played a Gramatalia. We drew a Zeus off that, which is really interesting, right? Because now we can just delete anything they play. So Gramatalia, got them developer brain, which he inks, of course. Probably super smart move to do that. There's no point for him to keep cards in hand right now. He's questing. Pass the turn, so we're gonna draw for Beast, draw for turn. Now we're starting to get, now we're starting to get our draw engine online. We spend 2 here. We boom the Maui that took out the Aladdin, so he's gone. Play a Cove. Spend 2. Move Diablo and Beast over to the Cove. So Medusa doesn't take out Beast anymore, right? At least for now. And Diablo can't be brawled. So we quest, I think. What am I doing here? I think I'm looking because that Maui can absolutely take out that Cove. So this I felt really bad about, and I found this when I recorded. I said I was using the Diablo and singing Along Came Zeus, which you actually cannot do. Right? Along Came Zeus is a 4-drop. I really apologize for it. I think it's the first time I've ever done something like that on camera. I didn't catch it. Opponent didn't catch it. I thought about just scrapping the whole video at this point here. But I think it's important to keep misplays in there, and we'll see how much of a difference that makes. I played it in my head. I think I'd have to reach out to Sandwich and see what kind of cards he was drawing to see if he had drawn a Medusa or a Brawl. That would have made a difference. Because we could have just used the Diablo to sing the strength or the Beast here. Gets out another Grandma Talia, right? Just digging. Gets the Maleficent Dragon, drops it down. Takes out the Bucky that I quested with. So I think I still would have won the game, and I think just looking at what kind of lore I got to, and the fact that I didn't see a Brawl or a Medusa, I think it would have just took me 1 extra turn on this match. So I really do apologize for it. I don't think you'll ever see me do that again. And I would have been happy if we had caught it at this point just to concede this match too, right? Making a misplay like that. We play a Flynn Rider. And you guys be the judge. Like, look at the plays here and see if you... Like, obviously, we know we would have lost 1 or 2. We would have lost the Cove for sure. And I wouldn't have been able to quest with Beast the 1 turn, but... At least not without losing that extra draw. I think I still would have won, but we'll see. So we use Beast and we use Diablo and we double sing those Strength of the Raging Fires. We take out those Grammatalias and just clear the board. And like Flynn's really going to be the thing that puts in the work here. We're going to quest with Bucky. Opponent's hand is empty anyway. If you top decks a Maui, I really don't care at this point. Opponent, develop your brain. And I do try to quest as much as possible early, especially against this matchup, because a Be Prepared or Sisu can come out of nowhere. You might as well get your lore in if they're empty. They can't have all the answers, right? They're not going to draw a Maui to take out the Bucky and draw a board wipe. Grammatalia comes down again. Keeps 1 card in hand. So obviously, he knows I'm going to make him discard it, so it has to be something that he just can't play. Draw for Beast, draw for turn. Looking down the line, we want to keep questing with that Beast, so we need to get rid of that Talia, but we do need to make him discard as well. Ink a small Robin. Singlet the Storm Rage on with Diablo, put 2 damage on that Talia. We're just doing that so we can draw a card, really. And then we'll play the Robin Hood. He'll discard a card. It is the Sisu. Thank God, right? We'll move Flynn Rider over to the Cove. Like I said, I feel like Cove would have been gone. But We don't see him having a bra right now, so we're at 13. I think if we had done the correct play there and we would have just been a turn behind moving that Maui, we either would have one less card in hand, which would have been that Cove that we have sitting in hand right now, or we wouldn't have gotten 2 lore by questing with Beast because we wouldn't have risked losing him that turn, which would have put it us at 11. The opponent plays a Popsicle here. Plays a Sisu. Even without the Cove, that would have had 0 targets. And then opponent concedes here. He sees the writing on the table, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna quest for 10. So even if that misplay wouldn't have happened, I would have been down to 11. Let's say, right? 1 turn behind on the questing there. And I feel like I still would have gotten a win, but yeah, go ahead, comment, let me know. Obviously, huge mistake. Really apologize for it, but these things do happen in person and in game. Sometimes we catch them, sometimes we don't. And poor Sandwich there. I know he'll be watching this video after, and it is what it is. So we'll go to game 2 here. I'm shuffling extra long here. I was watching how he does this, right? How he threads his cards out just as a neat way to shuffle. I really like it. I'm gonna probably try it when I'm just messing around at my desk, shuffling my decks up, practicing mulligans, stuff like that. It's a neat way to do it. So yeah, so this is I have one last set championship on Sunday here, which is tomorrow for me on the 28th, and then after that I get to mess around with Bucky till the 9th till the new set comes out. But Bucky will be gone, rip, and I have other decks as well, right? I've got all the big decks, and we'll see kind of what we end up playing. I would like to see Amethyst, um, Amethyst Emerald, kind of be able to say. I think if we play discard, we're gonna have to do Amber Emerald. I think that's a really good deck right now. And then with a couple of the new cards spoiled, I think Steel Emerald. I still want to try and make that work. I think the new Pete card is really amazing, and we just might have to take out some of these useless Floodborns like Aladdin and stuff that we play. It's the Buckies will come out. We'll add like Sherwood Forest, maybe some more Robins, and we'll go like an evasive line maybe with the Pegasuses and stuff. And then we'll just go and start playing like the new referee Pete with like Bippity Boppity Boo, and just start chaining it so that opponent can't board wipe once they hit like 7 ink, and just try and we'll see. I haven't seen any new discards. The new Prince John mirror looks pretty good, so we might even just go back to the Prince John route. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I have a feeling Ruby Amethyst is just gonna dominate with Bucky being gone. Just because that was a really strong matchup for us. But yeah, it's I would like to see something interesting come. Amber Steel Songs is a fun deck too, so they got some new cards. So game 2, opponent opts to go first. Inks Developer Brain. Plays the Popsicle. Best possible start for them to have for sure. We're looking at what we got in hand here too. Got a Diablo, no shift targets though. We do have a Bucky there. We do have the Robin Hood shift line as well, which I think is what we opt to do here. And I don't know if that's always the best play because they see you ink a Diablo, and then they see you play the Robin Hood. They have to assume you have the Robin Hood shift line. So opponent, because they're on the play, they get that 1 jump ahead. There's really, even if we had mulligan for the Ursula, there's nothing we could have done to stop that. It's just how that works. So they get to go into turn 3 with 4 ink. have a Flavor Sham or whatever right off the bat. We're going to ink a Hidden Cove. Play 2. I think Buck is coming out. There's our buddy. We're going to quest with the Robin Hood. We know that they don't have a rush character in those colors on. And they could play Goofy, but I don't think he is. So it was a safe quest. We'll get it in while we can. Opponent inks a Sisu Emboldened Warrior. Plays a Gramatalia. Takes a card. That was a fast decision. Draw for turn. Oh, there's the Diablo, right? So you're looking at here, like obviously we can shift out Robin and we could sing a sudden chill. But we also have Ursula in there too, which is really tempting to play the Ursula and just try and get it to live so that we can double sing, right? And if we there is a line there where we can double sing and on the next turn and then play the Robin and get them to discard 3 cards out of nowhere, which probably empties his hand. He's on 5. We ink the Diablo, play the Ursula. Gonna pass turn there. We know he's on 5 ink, so there's no point in questing with that Robin if Maui's a possibility. Opponent sings how far I'll go. It's important to pay attention to that kind of stuff too, right? And see how much ink he's getting up to. So big Sisu comes down with the ice block. Really hurts. Takes out that Ursula, so now we're an entire turn behind our plan there. Really, really good play. Really sucks here because that really was our line. So we're gonna play the Robin Hood. We get the brawl. And then, yeah, we are gonna sing that sudden chill. And just try and make our opponent pay a little bit here. And just, it's tough, right? Because we're making him discard, but he's inked so well so far. Like, he's at 6 ink right now. He only really needs, I mean, with a big Sisu, he only needs 6 for shifting. And then 7 for B prep. Which I haven't seen at all yet. Not in discard pile or played, so don't even know if he's on B preps. You have to assume he is. You always assume your opponent's playing the best cards. So there it is. Ice blocks Robin. Plays big Sisu. And now my board's done. Because I got greedy and tried to go for that really fancy play, right? Tried to go for the triple discard line. And I'm on 4 ink too. I'm super low on cards. So we'll Zeus the Sisu because that thing's quest him for 3. That's gonna just get out of hand really quickly. Ink and Aladdin. We got Diablo in hand. That's it. Opponent plays Develop Your Brain. Looks at 2. Just keeps scrying. Sings how far I'll go. So there's the 7 ink that they're up to already now. And we're in trouble here. We're in huge trouble. So we'll play out a Diablo. Got a Baboom in hand. I really don't see kind of good that's going to do us, but it's there. Opponent plays the Flavor Sham, pops the Popsicle. Now they're going to be drawing. So I've got the Diablo, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can get back into this game and just grind it out. But Ice blocks the Diablo, Sisu's it. Yeah. So we're done here. I think I tell him, like, let's just go to game 3. It's it in a world he's gonna be able to quest with it. He's gonna be able to just keep drawing. He'll be up to a full grip in no time. So great lines by the opponent. He really prioritized inking there and card replacement. That's everything he played, was just to replace a card or to ink or to get more ink, or it just really good play by him. And turn 2, 1 jump ahead. Yeah. I do like the Flavor Sham on turn 3 better, but Gramatalia got the job done for sure. And we see that really cool card threading here for shuffling. Just an awesome way to randomize everything in the deck. Like that a lot. We go to game 3 here. Of course, I will be on the play. So we're on the play. We really need to dig for that Diablo Bucky and get that going right away. So we see Diablo. We see Ursula, which as a backup, if we get Sudden Chill, yeah, we're going to keep those. So a backup if we do not find Bucky is we have to play that Ursula on turn 2 and take the 1 jump out of his hand. Let's see what we get. Opponent, I think, takes a couple too. I think they maybe take 4 actually. Yeah, they do take 4. Same as us. So you assume that they kept 3 cards, so they probably kept a 1 jump and a popsicle, right? Or 1 jump, popsicle, Flavor Sham, I think would be my optimal guess on that. Okay, so we have Diablo Shiftline. We have Bucky too. Yes. So turn 1, Diablo. Look at our opponent's hands. Popsicle, he only has 1 jump ahead. One jump ahead. He's got the Sisu Shiftline with the Ice Block and a Tamatoa, which we know is probably going to get inked right away, as it always does. Oh, they're inking the Tamatoa, as expected, into, surprise, Popsicle. Draws and passes. Gonna shift to Robin, turn 2, and we're gonna go. This is surprising. So we do take the Ursula because I want to rip the 1 jump. A lot of people will get tunnel vision and they'll do the Bucky into the Diablo shift, but I really need to slow down his ramp. He's got Sisu there. He's got Flavor Sham, Medusa. Yeah, we got to take the ramp away. And then we're gonna quest with the Bucky. So now he's thinking that I don't have Bucky Diablo, right? Like that must be what they're thinking. So we see the Ice Block there played. He's going into turn 3. All he could really do is the Sisu line, right, with the Ice Block, and that will kill Diablo. So that's definitely a problem here. But it will not kill a Bucky. So we play out the Bucky. We could have shifted the Diablo here, and I just really don't want to lose it for a 1-for-1. Like, that's just not enough value for me there. So my plan here, I was kind of thinking, was I was going to play out the Flynn Rider. Even though it does quest for 4, I feel like they would have had to do the little Sisu trick on that. And then I would just follow it up with a Diablo. The opponent inks the Maui's Fishhook, which we're really happy to see because they probably don't think we have it. They end up playing this Sisu instead. And so I know it's still in his hand, which is smart to keep it. And then we draw another Bucky. And this changes things. Because like I said, I hate 1-for-1s, but I will happily take a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1. So 2 Buckies. Now we'll shift the Diablo. Now we know we're going to get 2 cards out of his hand, and we're going to draw a card to replace it. And whatever he does next turn, if he does do that, Sisu is uninkable. So if he inks on his next turn, plays the Sisu, we have the follow-up with the Flynn Rider. He'll be on an empty hand. Yeah, we lose the Diablo, but we can just keep questing. We're already at 5 as it is. So opponent draws and we draw, and look at that. Strength of the Raging Fire. So there he does. Ice block into the Diablo, which I think he has to do there. Because he's going to want to draw cards. Double questing. So the Sisu's gone now. Inca Donald. Play the Flynn. Discard the last card in his hand. It's the Flavor Sham. So he was kind of talking here like maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should have played the Flavor Sham out instead. But I would have drawn off the Diablo. So I think he probably needed to do that because of how low on ink he was. He would have just had to bank on being able to keep inking. So opponent's got a card in hand. Can quest for 3 here. Gonna draw. Have an Ursula, which now we might as well, right? Might as well get that Ursula out there so that we can double sing Strength of the Raging Fire the following turn if it lives. There's no way if they get a Brawl or a Sisu that they're going to come after the Ursula over that Flynn Rider right now that's going to be questing. So Flynn Rider, 1 card in an opponent's hand, so you quest for 3, and then we get a 4th off of the Ursula. Go to 10. Or Gramatalia comes down. Grammatalia's just put in tons of work. Couple cards in hand. They're tapped out. They opt not to ink, so like I know they must just be blockbuster cards, right? They have to be. Opponent double quests again. Goes to 8. I think I had to fix my thing. I had missed the last turn. We draw. Look at that. Play the Donald. 2 Buckies out, so they discard the Flavor Sham and the Medusa. That just must hurt, right? And then double sing Strength of the Raging Fire. Opponent thinks I'm going after the small Sisu, but I'm not. I'm going after the Ground Metalia and the other Sisu. And that's just because I wanted to get the Singer 4 off in case he had to let it go. I know big Sisu, there's no way he could drop it if he drew it. Not with 4 ink. And then we just quest for the Buckies anyway here because why not? So we quest for 7, right? 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We actually quest for 8. And opponent has a Maui that they can't even play. They'd have to ink. So that's that. Bucky, it's nice to go out on a win. We'll see if I get one more recorded before the thing. And thanks for watching, everybody.